Boys Tennis Athlete of the Year.
When Parma's Tanner Kramer suffered a broken finger earlier this season, the question wasn't whether or not he would continue to play tennis. The question was how. Instead of taking time to heal the broken ring finger on his dominant right hand like most would, the junior decided to play his next 2 matches left-handed instead. He still won both. Parma girls tennis player Madison Beck called Kramer winning with his non-dominant hand amazing. Kramer, last year's 3A state champion, went on to lose only 2 duels in the regular season, both to the eventual state champ from Fruitland, and went a combined 5-2 in the district and state tournaments last week. The junior finished second at the district tournament and overcame a tough loss in the quarterfinals to finish third in the state tournament. Said Coach Eddie, the Parma tennis coach, he's just got a lot of natural athletic ability. He's very humble about his success. He doesn't let it go to his head. He's a hard worker and always trying to improve. And a scary thought to the other 3A tennis players is that Kramer will be back for another year next spring. The Idaho Press-Tribune is pleased to present the Sports Star 2015 Boys Tennis Player of the Year Award to Parma Junior Tanner Kramer.
Girls Tennis Athlete of the Year.
Madison Beck watched as her older brother Kyler won 4 consecutive 3A state tennis championships from 2010 to 2013. She found out the hard way, though, that it's not as easy as he was making it look. Beck reached the state finals in each of her first 2 years for Parma, but suffered heartbreaking defeats in the state championship match both times. Well, this past weekend, she got over the hump this time. Beck, a junior at Parma, won the 3A state tennis championship in girls singles last weekend at Valley High. She also helped the Parma girls to the team state championship, going 18-0 in duels, losing only a couple times in some tournaments with 5A schools earlier in the season. She won both the district and state tournaments. Beck picked up tennis in middle school because she wasn't interested in track and field. She also saw how much fun Kyler was having dominating his opponents, telling me, quote, "He's a great player, and I tried track and didn't like it, so I gave tennis a shot." Looks like she turned out to make a pretty good decision. The Idaho Press-Tribune pleased to present the 2015 Sports Stars Girls Tennis Player of the Year to Parma Junior Madison Beck.
Boys Track Athlete of the Year.
Among all the different track and field events Melba's Wyatt Helm excels in, and there are plenty, the one he enjoys the most is the triple jump. He had a little bit of extra motivation in that one. It was something my dad did, Wyatt said of his father, Nathan, who was a high school jumper in New Mexico. I was like, man, I want to try that and beat his personal record to kind of have the bragging rights in the family. He's had plenty of bragging rights with his competitors this spring, let alone his dad. Helm won more than 25 events this spring in triple jump, long jump, and relays. He was the district champion in the 400-meter open, the long jump, the triple jump, and the 1,600-meter relay. He was the state champion in the triple jump, the long jump, and was 6th in the 400. He set a school record with the long jump along the way. It was the 3rd straight spring that Helm won a state championship in the triple jump. Helm will go on an LDS mission following graduation and would like to attend Utah State as a walk-on for football and track, and he hopes to eventually earn a scholarship. If he works as hard as he has in the past few years, I don't think any of us would put that past him. The Idaho Press-Tribune is pleased to present the 2015 Sports Stars Boys Track and Field Athlete of the Year Award to Melba Senior Wyatt Helm.
Girls Track Athlete of the Year.
Caldwell's Sadie Jones took a weightlifting class. All right. Sadie Jones took a weightlifting class during the spring semester of her freshman, sophomore, and junior years. For the final spring semester of her high school career, the senior opted for 2 weightlifting classes. The extra time she spent pumping iron this spring apparently paid off. Jones won the shot put at last weekend's 4A state tournament with a mark of 42 feet 11 and a half inches, the best shot put throw in the state of Idaho this season. It's her second consecutive state title in the shot put. Her best throw in 2014 was 41 feet 1.5 inches. She broke that mark at Middleton on April 2nd and continued to break her personal record several more times throughout the season, culminating with her best throw at the state tournament, which was nearly 20 inches further than her best throw from last season. In all, she threw the 8.8-pound shot put to a victory in 9 different shot put events this spring. She also finished 3rd at the district tournament in discus and was 4th in discus at the state tournament. Jones recently committed to compete for Concordia University in Portland, where she will work with assistant coach Jared Rome, a Boise State alum and a 2-time Olympian. The Idaho Press-Tribune is pleased to present the Sports Stars 2015 Girls Track and Field Athlete of the Year Award to Caldwell senior Sadie Jones.
Boys Coach of the Year.
Injuries, illness, concussions, anxiety, academic eligibility, personal issues at home. Youth, you name it, and the Caldwell wrestling team probably went through it at some point this winter. But as coach Jeff Klotzer struggled to find any kind of consistency within his 14 weight classes, he maintained that some way, somehow, his roster would come together in time for the district and state meets. He was right. The Cougars won the District 3 title and sent 21 wrestlers to the 4A state tournament in Pocatello. Behind his leadership and direction, the Caldwell wrestling team had 3 individual state champions, 6 finalists, 2 third-place finishers, and 3 other top 6 finishes. Oh, and the team won the 4A state wrestling title. In recognition for his job overcoming adversity to lead the Caldwell wrestling team to one of their best seasons in years, our choice for the Idaho Press-Tribune's Boys Coach of the Year is Caldwell wrestling coach Jeff Klotzer.
Girls Coach of the Year.
Cindy Pesta could have gone out on top. Skyview's first and only head girls varsity basketball coach won the 4A state championship in 2014 with her daughter Bailey, who was headed to Montana to play for Carroll College. Cindy wanted to have time to travel and watch her daughter play. The time was perfect to step away. But Cindy and Bailey decided last summer that each would follow their chosen paths, and she decided to return as the coach at Skyview. The decision didn't look smart at first, as the Hawks endured a rough summer trying to figure out how to replace the leaders Bailey, Pasta, and Leah Bonner. But she got the group rolling when they won the Elite 8 Tournament Championship, their 5th title in the 5-year history of the tournament. They overcame a rough patch midway through the season and topped Bishop Kelly in the opening round of the state tournament before mounting a furious comeback against Rigby, including a 3-point buzzer beater by Haley Gravitt for the win. To make it back to the title game for the 2nd consecutive season, Skyview's magic ran out in the title game and the Hawks settled for 2nd place, but Pesta called the team a magical group that she'll always remember. We're pleased to present the Idaho Press-Tribune's 2014 Girls Coach of the Year Award to Skyview girls basketball coach Cindy Pesta.
Boys Team of the Year.
The Caldwell wrestling team qualified 21 grapplers for the 4A state tournament. They had 3 individual state champions and won the 4A team title in Pocatello. Dante Carino won an individual title at 98 pounds. Cyrus won at 132 and Armando won at 160 pounds. 9 more wrestlers were medalists, including 6 as finalists. Caldwell's 298.5 team points was 81 ahead of runner-up Cuna, last year's team champion. But the team overcame medical hardships to finish on top. A sophomore broke his hand at the beginning of the season. He needed knee surgery, that forced him to miss time right before the district tournament. He still ended up winning a state title. Remarkably, others appearing in the championship bouts were Brendan Runnels, Adrian Dame, Irving Cappuccino, and Drew Sowers. They all took second at state. Ismael Ciros and David Sayo both took home 3rd place medals. Brandon Gonzalez was 4th, Luis Vargas was 5th, and Tevin Seo was 6th. For their team state championship and impressive individual finishes, the Idaho Press-Tribune is pleased to award the 2015 Boys Team of the Year to Caldwell Wrestling Team.
Girls Team of the Year.
Okay, I think we get a technical foul for all the pronunciations we've gotten wrong tonight, so I'm going to try and get it right this time. The 2014-2015 Skyview girls basketball team wasn't the dominant team that won the state tournament the previous season, but the longer, more uncertain, and probably sometimes frustrating road nearly ended up with the same result. After experiencing early success in non-conference play, an up and down Southern Idaho Conference schedule, and District 3 tournament, Skyview pulled off a dominant victory against Bishop Kelly in the opening round of the state tournament. Bishop Kelly had beaten them 3 times already in the season, but Skyview got the win when it mattered most. In the semifinals, they overcame a 9-point second-half deficit to Rigby and won on a 3-pointer at the buzzer by Haley Graven. They fell to Century in a title game, coming up 1 win short of back-to-back state titles, but the second place finish with nothing to be ashamed about, especially when you consider the team's loss of leaders Bailey Pasta and Leah Bonner from last year's title team. Skyview had a 10-game winning streak midway through last season and won 5th straight Elite 8 tournament in December with a win over Crosstown Nampa. Add in the improbable second place finish in the state tournament, and the choice was easy. Our pick for the Idaho Press-Tribune Sports Stars Girls Team of the Year is the Skyview Girls Basketball Team.
Inspirational Team Player of the Year.
sticks in his head like it was yesterday. The huddle broke, the ball was snapped, and Boone Bartolome came around the edge to block like he had on so many other plays during his football career. But this wasn't an ordinary play. It was his last. Bartolome tripped and hit his head on an opponent's leg as he fell to the ground. "I tried to get up and nothing happened," Bartolome said. "I tried again and I knew something was wrong." Something was very wrong. Bartolome had shattered his C4 vertebrae and cracked his C5. Bruising to his spinal cord temporarily left him paralyzed from the neck down. Bartolome had a steel plate placed in his spine during surgery soon after arriving at St. Alphonsus Regional Medical Center in November of 2013. He remained in the Boise Hospital for about 2 weeks before being transferred to Craig Hospital in Denver, which specializes in rehab for patients with spinal cord and brain injuries. He remained there for about 3 months and began to make significant progress. As you saw in the film, Bartolome returned home last February to a hero's welcome at Kuna High. He was still listed on the football team's roster last fall at Kuna and was included in the team picture. He attended every game and most practices when he wasn't in Boise twice a week for therapy sessions. He also attended track practices this spring and couldn't help think what might have been had he not suffered the injury after already winning the state championship in both the long jump and the 4x400 meter relay in his first year on the track team as a sophomore in 2013. He's just a kid that loves to live, Kuna football coach Ian Spart said. He loves life. Boone just represents so many things we try to preach here, and even in a horrible situation, he still kept that. When he was around our guys, he was positive, and he tried to uplift them and coach them whenever he could. That never changed. Nearly 17 months later after the injury, Bartolome lacks some feeling but has movement in his arms and legs and can walk with the aid of forearm crutches. He remains a long ways away from being completely healed, but he's made enough progress that he no longer has to go to the twice-a-week therapy sessions. He'll graduate tomorrow from Kuna High and plans to study business at CWI in the fall. "It's been a lot of ups and downs, obviously, but I'm just trying to live a regular life," Bartolome said. "Things are obviously different with me, but basically I'm just trying to get back to normal, get back to a daily schedule, and try to do the things I usually do. It's been a humbling experience for sure, especially seeing the types of things that could have gone on with how I am and where I am. I'm very grateful." For the courage and inspiration Bartolome has continued to show since the scary November night in 2013, the Idaho Press-Tribune is pleased and honored to present the first Inspirational Team Player of the Year award to Kuna senior Boone Bartolome.
Boys Student Athlete of the Year.
He's helped the elderly, nurtured the Nampa area youth, and warned students about the dangers of tobacco. The volunteer work is endless and commendable for Nampa's Corey Lester. He's also the Nampa High Senior Class President, competed as a heavyweight wrestler, and was a defensive lineman on the football team. His cumulative GPA is 3.9598, a mark that earned him a spot on the all-academic team in the Southern Idaho Conference 4 straight years for 2 sports, both football and wrestling. Lester volunteered at the Park Place Assisted Living Community every week for 3.5 years, starting when he was 15. He also helped with 4-H fundraisers for animal and kids to afford camps and programs. He also took part in Teens Against Tobacco Use, a peer teaching prevention program implemented by the American Lung Association, in which he talks to 4th and 5th graders about the dangers of tobacco. As far as his athletic accomplishments go, Lester placed 2nd at the 5A District 3 tournament in February and made a second straight trip to the state tournament. He also was a 5A SIC honorable mention selection at the center on the football team. Said Nampa Athletic Director John Gregory, "Character-wise, there's no other better than him. He's just a great kid. He's always done what's expected of him and goes beyond. He's always quick to volunteer. He's just that kind of kid." For his combination of charitable efforts and athletic success, The Idaho Press-Tribune is pleased to give the 2015 Boys Student Athlete of the Year Award to Nampa's Corey Lester.
Girls Student Athlete of the Year.
Achieving a 4.0 GPA is hard enough. Doing so, being a first-team all-conference performer in 3 sports is almost unheard of. But that's what New Plymouth's Brittany Varigan has accomplished. Varigan, who is signed to play softball next season at the Oregon Institute of Technology and will undertake a challenging nursing program, will take a remarkable 33 dual credits to college with her. She's been a varsity athlete in volleyball, basketball, and softball for all 4 years, but has somehow hung on to her unblemished 4.0 GPA. Said New Plymouth Athletic Director Denise Oliver, who's also the girls basketball coach, quote, "She is unbelievable. She really is. I mean, a three-sport athlete for 4 years, it's not all just natural with her either. It's work ethic. She's got a tremendous work ethic." Varigan is the Pilgrims' career home run leader. She broke that record as a junior and was named to the 2A WIC first team in volleyball and basketball. She helped the softball team to the 2A state championships last week. As if her achievements in athletics in the classroom weren't enough, she also takes time to help kids at New Plymouth Elementary with their schoolwork, math and reading in particular, and is also involved with the National Honor Society and Business Professionals of America. The Idaho Press-Tribune's choice for the 2015 Sports Stars Girls Student Athlete of the Year, we're pleased to honor New Plymouth's Brittany Varigan.
BJ, it's time to announce the awards that we've been keeping secret all this time. We had 2 awards that we selected, but no one has known who the winners were, and that is the overall Boys and Girls Athlete of the Year.
And these are the awards that you probably care about most because they include a $1,000 scholarship. We have the envelopes right here to announce these awards and our scholarship winners. The honoree for the boys.
Boys Overall Athlete of the Year.
From Wilder High School, AJ Castellanos.
The real money's in the small envelope. That's just a big paper check.
Girls Overall Athlete of the Year.
And the honoree for 2015 is Sierra Manzer, Melba High School. Thank you all for joining us this evening to celebrate the Idaho Press-Tribune's Sports Stars for 2015.
Thank you to the coaches, the parents that helped all year by submitting information. It's a lot easier when we get the stats at the end of the night, and we appreciate you for also encouraging the students to excel in everything they do.
A special thank you once again to our presenting sponsor, St. Alphonsus, for helping launch this great program. The 2015 Sports Stars publication will be available at the doors as you leave. Please only try to take 2 copies tonight. We'll have more available for you and delivered to the schools next week. Just to make sure we've got plenty of copies for everyone tonight.
Also be sure to follow the Idaho Press-Tribune sports coverage, both in the paper and online at idahopress.com for the standouts next season, and we hope to see some of you back here again for the Sports Stars of 2016.
Thank you all and good night.
Good night.